Strange. Well, let's read it. Dear Professor Creepin, you may not know who I am currently, but I know who you are. I have captured your friend. Darbo is safe and sound currently, but if you ever want to see him alive again, you will listen to what I have to tell you. You will receive my message soon enough. Sincerely, Dr. Freakshow? I can't believe this. He's kidnapped my friend. I will not stand for this. I must save Darbo, no matter the cost. This dirty, rotten son of a bitch. Welcome back to Creepin with your host, Professor Creepin. Welcome back, guys. Today's episode, the showers. So to first get some housekeeping out of the way, we're doing great on subscribers, guys. 230, gonna hit 300, I'm sure, within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully we can hit that 500 before the end of this year. I want to have this channel be big so I can spread more creepypasta and scary stories. I hope you guys like this new schedule. So it's going to be 3 videos a week for now. If you guys follow me on my socials, which please go check those out. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on TikTok. I usually post clips of these episodes here. So please go check those out. Go support them. I also asked for voice actors and artwork and help with certain assignments, etc. on those channels. So if you ever want to do that work, it's either on the Discord that I ask for help or I ask on one of my social medias. So if you guys want to keep in touch with me, those are what you can go check out. Soon I'll probably have a Twitter. I do have a Twitch. Nothing's on there currently, but soon I'll probably have other forms of social media. I don't know all the crazy amounts of social media I should be having, but I do want to promote myself and get my stuff out there. Back to the schedule. 3 videos a week now. We have Troll Pasta Thursdays, Creepypasta Fridays, and Creepin Saturdays or Sundays. Usually it's going to be Saturdays because that's just how I roll. I hope you guys do enjoy. We will see how it's going to play out. I might switch around some things once we start getting into Creep TV, because I'm obviously covering their stuff week by week. I'm also probably going to start mixing in stuff that they haven't covered, which should be fun, and I will enjoy doing that, because I think a lot of people do like that stuff, and I don't want to just be a carbon copy of Creepcast. I do enjoy creeping and covering what they cover and giving people more information, which I did learn some fun information for this one. I do want to do my own things. I think I have some ideas for the future. Maybe an episode on Abandoned by Disney. I do have some other authors that I could do longer form content for, so I might do that. Who knows? So the schedule for now, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and or Sundays. But 3 videos a week. Hopefully that'll eventually turn to 4, maybe even 5. I do kind of want to review found footage films, which should be fun. I do want to do maybe once a month. I could do a found footage movie. I do have a few in mind for what I would do, but let's get all that out of the way. Let's get what we're here for, which is the showers. It's very fun. It's a very fun story. I very much enjoyed it. I had the wonderful ability to purchase the book. The book's pretty great. I think it's around the same exact story. I think he did change. Dylan Sindler, I think that's how you pronounce the author's name. I'm sorry if it's wrong. I really do apologize. But I had the opportunity to purchase the book, and the book's pretty good. It's the same story, parts 1 through 5. So for Creepcast, they only read parts 1 and parts 2. So to really give a rundown of part 1 and 2, Part 1, we have our main character as I think, high schooler, and his teacher, Mr. Mays, tells him this story of this really weird trip that he went on one summer when he was younger. They went to Nebraska, and they found this barn, yada yada, weird stuff happened, his friend gets injured. That's kind of the gist of that story. Then we flash forward, I think sometime later, I don't know if it's a 10-year flash forward, but he's older now, he's near college, so I think it's probably like 5. He's older now. He runs into Mr. Mays at a bar, very drunk, and it seems like Mr. Mays is depressed, and Mr. Mays breaks down and eventually tells him, hey, like, my friend died. Our main character is obsessed with storytelling. He likes making up stories and telling other people them. It gives him, I guess, some sort of rush. He wants to be a good storyteller, etc. I think he does end up becoming like an English teacher or something like that. He wants to be able to tell stories. He likes putting himself in them. He likes myths. He likes stories like that. He becomes obsessed with the story of the showers, and he puts himself in it. He self-inserts himself when he tells other people. But years later, he runs into Mr. Mays, drunk at a bar, and Mr. Mays is depressed, crying, whatever. And Mr. Mays breaks down a bit. He tells him that his friend died that day. His friend didn't make it out. It was just him that made it out. And he tells him, like, don't go to the showers, yada, yada. This kid doesn't listen. A month later, Mr. Mays does die. I don't think it's related, but it could be, who knows. A month later, Mr. Maze dies, and eventually our main character goes on a trip, and his friend is kind of also compelled with this story and wants to go find the showers. They do find the showers, some weird stuff starts happening, etc. They both get out. Now, there is parts 3 through 5, which I will probably cover briefly in a little bit. To cover just the Creepcast episode, we obviously have the birth of an iconic bit here, Mr. Willis. We have that iconic bit here. It's a wonderful, wonderful bit. Absolutely love it. There's plenty of animations about it. There's fan art all over the Reddit, YouTube. It's a very popular bit. I do think that Hunter has forgotten it by this point because it was mentioned in a recent episode or was mentioned in a live stream or something like that, and Hunter just did not remember it all, didn't know what the hell they were talking about. But I think it's an iconic bit and it's very funny, and I think that Mr. Wells is up there with like Diego, Hunter's grandfather, etc. I think it's very funny, very interesting. Other than that, great funny moments. As always, go check out Darbo's funny moments in the description. I think this is a great episode. I think it's a great story. I think that the parts 1 through 2 of the showers are flawless. I think you get the idea of this boy who cried wolf type scenario where this kid who's telling these stories and telling them about other people and self-inserting himself and wanting to be, I guess, somewhat seek for fame. Not really, because he's not getting anything off of these. But it's a very interesting dynamic. And then for him to go to the showers aren't defined. Like, they're not a specific thing. Nothing is explained, which is good. For this version of this story, I think is good. You don't get explanations for old kind of creepypasta myths like that. Like the hand hook, the stories that you tell around campfires, you don't get explanations for, which is why I think parts 1 and 2 are perfect. I don't think there needed to be a sequel, but the original was posted in 2012. 6 years later, the author came back. Parts 3 through 5 were made. I usually try not to be a negative person. I think that you can read the rest of the showers if you want. I do think that parts 3 through 5 of the showers are a Baraska V situation. I think that unfortunately, I think for me personally, stories need to be written around the same time for them to coincide. Like, I don't know many authors that can go back to a story 5, 6, 7, 8 years later and want to add to it and it be compelling. You obviously have some very famous authors that can do that. Very famous authors. I keep saying authors. It's a very big issue. I think that it's a very hard concept to do. So for this author to come here 6 years later and want to finish the rest of the story, great for them. I don't want to be a negative person, but unfortunately, I just don't like parts 3 through 5. I think it goes into too much explanation. I think that they define the showers differently than they did in the original version. Like, I think it's different. The basic premise is that 5 years later, our narrator is now this womanizer, druggy, drunk. He has a girl that's stuck around the longest, I guess his girlfriend. She has also become enthralled with this story, which I think is a fun thorough line, that other people are the ones that are obsessed with this story as much as him. He just wants to tell this story. He doesn't want to live it. But these other people want to live it. They want to go there and live it. So I think that is a fun idea to play with. I think part 3 is good. She breaks down to him. She wants to go to the showers. She wants to be taken to the showers and see what's going on there, where it is, what's happening, how does she get involved, etc. And he breaks down and decides to take her, which I think is a weird decision for him to make, because when she originally pressures him, he is drunk. He's not capable of maybe saying no. He's drunk, he's inebriated, he doesn't know what to do, whatever. He's probably just saying yes to appease her. The next day he's not drunk. He's clear-minded, but he still decides to take this trip. So him, and one of their friends comes through, and the friend drives them to Broken Bow, Nebraska. I think that's what it's called, Broken Bow, I think. They go there, they experience the showers, but I don't know. The showers seem different this time. I think that every time you go, the showers are different. Like, Mr. May's version of the story versus his version versus this version is very, like, the showers is not defined differently, but the first two, the showers is kind of similar. This one, the showers is different. Obviously, the location is always different, but I think it's just more of like it used to be a satanic cult or something. Or whenever you show up, it's like whatever you think it's going to be, or a perception in your mind about it. Who knows? But they show up, the shower stuff happens, but they start explaining too much. They give too much. I think that it needed to be one more part. There didn't need to be a part 3, 4, and 5. They could have just made it maybe part 3 and 4. That, maybe just part 3. I think that is a better way, because you concise more down. Once you have all 3 of those parts, you're giving this hero's journey-esque story that doesn't need for a myth. The whole hook hand, the really popular campfire story where the girl finds the hook hand on the door, or the babysitter, or whatever. Those kind of stories we don't get 10 years later. Oh, this babysitter fought. This isn't Halloween. we don't get a sequel to this. This doesn't need to be that. Obviously, this author wanted that way, which I don't blame him for. If I like a story and I really have an idea for it, I'd go back and do it too. But I just don't think this is my kind of story. I'm sure plenty of other people would like this. Me personally, it's just not something that I'm super psyched about or wanted after reading part 1 through 2. I think that part 1 and 2 was enough. I think that there didn't need to be a part 3, and if you were going to do a part 3, you would have to do it with different characters, or if it is 5 years later, he needed something different needed to happen, because there's some weird inconsistencies that Showers turns into like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings and corrupts the girlfriend. I guess she becomes a shitty girlfriend because she's drunk, or it's the Showers influencing her, because the main character says, oh, I know it's this place. It's telling her, because she just becomes a super jerk to him and is super rude, and but then is fine 5 minutes later to him. I don't know. It was weird. I think that you can find enjoyment out of part 3 through 5. It ends on a note of him somehow recovering from, this, and then it taught him lessons and it made him a better person, but I don't know how, because the same thing happened to him. So how did this time it change him to be this better person? But whatever. It made him a better person, and the message about telling stories, yada yada. I think that this could be written better. I don't want to shame Dylan Sindler for writing this. Obviously, it takes a lot of bravery to put yourself out there, write a story, and then come back and make a sequel. Obviously, it's his work. He can do whatever he wants with it. Overall, is it the worst thing I've ever read? No, I don't think so. Do I think it's as bad as Baraska V or Deepwoods Part 2 and 3? No, I don't think it's that bad. It's not butchering my enjoyment. It still is fun, more fun with the Showers. I don't think it's one of those sequels that needed to be made. It's more in the universe. I guess I would rate it definitely more enjoyable than other legacy sequels, I guess, that came out later than the original. But overall, do I recommend going to read it? And do I want the boys to read it? Obviously, I want the boys to read it, just so I can hear their opinions of it. You guys should go check it out, go read it. Obviously, go support the author. I mean, it's always the proper thing to support authors. They're putting themselves out there. I always love creatives, and I think it's the right thing to support them. There's an Amazon link in the description below to buy the book. The book is pretty good. It's around the same story. I think some of the things are changed up, but go check out the book. I love the cover art for it. Dylan Sindler, if you're listening to this, please, I'd love to talk to you about the Showers or something else in a second, but I love to talk to you about the Showers, hear more about your ideas and theories of it. One theory I did see was that people think that Showers Part 2 was, you know how in Showers Part 1, the friend obviously dies. So people are like, oh, in Showers Part 2, do you think that his friend also died and maybe the protagonist was like embellishing it the same way Mr. Maze did? Who knows? I think it's a very interesting angle. But let's talk about something else that I do want to talk about is that potentially this story is based off a different Reddit post, which I think is very interesting. So a few people have posted to wanting to find the Showers. So basically 13 years ago, which would be what? 2012, I think? Yeah, it's around 2012, 2011. 13 years ago, someone posted about this under a post that says, what do you consider to be the greatest unsolved mystery of all time? So Spud641 said, the Showers, outside of Hastings, Nebraska. My 12th grade teacher told me a story a few years ago about a place called the Showers. TLDR, he and his friends went to a satanic ritual site in an old military barracks and heard strange voices. That is not the strange part though. When he went back to the dorm with his friends, he asked around about it and got an identical response from everyone he asked. They all went pale and said something like, don't ever go there again. He said he searched the internet about it but couldn't find anything on it. Well, I busted out my internet skills and found this, and this. And a few years ago, I came across a website referencing it with much of the text blacked out. This has confused me for the past 2 or 3 years. They continue to respond to comments, whatever. This person is still active. Obviously, I'm not going to harass them or bother them or ask them questions about this. But there's no mention of the creepypasta on this link at all. And there are other links that are posted here. I don't think any of them are still available. Like if you tap on them, it's nothing. It seems like this came out before the Showers creepypasta came out. There was an original idea that this creepypasta came from. Obviously, I don't know if Dylan was inspired. I would like to think he was, because there's no way Hastings, Nebraska, Broken Bow, Nebraska. There's no way. Like it makes sense that he probably saw that and was inspired by it, which obviously, people get inspiration from everywhere. But it's very interesting to know that maybe there was a real satanic, some sort of weapons bunker or whatever, but satanic practices were going on there. So that could be an interesting angle. Maybe it was really Satanists that are in there, and years later, that's why everyone's like, oh, we don't do that stuff no more. Which also, I want to say in the sequel, they literally carbon copy that line the girlfriend and him go inside a gas station to get snacks, and the girlfriend asks the worker, and the worker says the same thing the old woman said, oh, we don't deal with that stuff anymore. My personal theory is I guess I would assume it's some sort of satanic cult that the town was originally a part of, but then everybody kind of stopped. Maybe they summoned something they weren't supposed to with those children with like the dark black eyes or whatever. They summoned something they weren't supposed to. And they kept it trapped there, and they stopped being Satanists, and they moved on. The town moved on. And I think that each time that these people are going to this place, maybe it isn't the same place. Maybe it is all these farms that are connected to this one central location. So it's all these different offshoots, all these tunnels that are going to this one central location that is the showers. Which I do think the imagery of the showers with the kids and the actual shower heads and the blood raining down, I think it's an interesting imagery. I think it's a cool idea. And overall, do I like the showers? Yes. Do I think the sequel needed to be a thing and exist? No. But obviously I'm not the author. It's his story to tell. And to talk more about Dylan Sindler, he did just post a short film called Twigs on YouTube, which I will have in the description. It looks really interesting, and I think it's pretty cool, and please go check it out. It's based on a radio host, and weird stuff's happening. It's good. Go check it out. I'm probably going to end up finishing it at some point. But to discuss what else Dylan Sindler has been a part of, which I found this so interesting, that Dylan Sindler was part of the Slenderverse. What? Yes, he is the co-creator of MLAnderson, which I was a big Slenderverse person like 3 years ago. I really dived into most of their stuff. I didn't dive into this, MLAnderson, but I dived into Marble Hornets, and I think Everyman Hybrid. I don't think I watched Tribe 12, but I do know that Tribe 12 has like allegations or something, or they did something wrong. Who knows? I don't keep up with that stuff. But I didn't dive into MLAnderson, but they are part of the Slenderverse. So I reached out to a friend of mine, Sour, who's a big Slenderverse fan, and they were the ones that gave me a breakdown of what MLAnderson is about. Trigger warning for serious topics, by the way. A lot of the Slenderverse stuff covers addiction and etc., but we are going to go over their breakdown of what happened. I'm going to quote directly from them. Here's how it goes. MLAnderson starts with our main character, Michael, talking to a camera about how his doctor from the mental hospital he just left recommended he keeps a video diary about his life and such to make himself feel better. He's also a raging insomniac. He starts getting strange dreams once he is able to sleep, none of which really makes sense to him at the time, but they all have this theme of clocks and time. As the videos go on, he continues talking about his dreams, and the spooky Slenderman guy starts appearing, and it's revealed that he's been seeing him all his life, but everyone around him is sort of chalked it up to hallucinations, and that's why he's been in the hospital for like ever. In the hospital, it was documented that he claimed to have a different personality, Patrick, who was mean and a loser and whatnot. Michael also has an older brother named Sean, who he doesn't really get along with. I think the first mention of him was a video where he legit is just shit-talking Michael and saying he takes a lot of drugs and is crazy and thinks people are crazy for believing him. Eventually, Sean goes missing, and his roommate blames Michael, even though Michael doesn't know where he is either. Sean, though, posts a video saying that Michael lied and didn't know where he was, and now he's starting to see the Slenderman as well, and it's giving him dreams now, too. Sean eventually finds this one girl who's in the hospital with him, too. Her name is Stormy. She talks with Sean about Patrick, and now she's dragged into this whole Slenderman nonsense, too. I think they both run into Patrick and Slenderman in a hotel or apartment building. Okay, yeah, so Patrick goes on a little rampage, takes over Michael's body, and Stormy and Sean are trying to help Michael, thinking that Patrick is evil, but he's like, not. Anyways, I've reached the word limit. Anyways, it ends with Habit from Everyman Hybrid killing Michael and Patrick, which I completely forgot about until now. That's the synopsis. I might check that out, to be honest. I did like Everyman Hybrid. I didn't watch too much of it, though, because I know it kind of goes off the rails. I know there's like a hella parts, part 5, part 6, part 20 billion, whatever. I like Marble Hornets. I think that was the best one out of all of them. I think they're obviously all kind of based off of Marble Hornets in a way, but I think it's the best one of all of them. I think the Slenderverse is really compelling overall, and it's crazy that the author of The Showers also randomly is the co-creator of that. I found that so interesting, and apparently it's keeping going, like it's still alive to this day, or it's coming back in some way, because the original YouTube channel, MLAnderson, is posting on their community posts songs, and allegedly it's coming back. I read some forum posts saying that the authors said that they're gonna continue with the vlog series and finish it off and have a story idea, which is interesting. I think it's very fun, and I do remember Habit from Everyman Hybrid briefly. I kind of remember them. I do need to brush up on my Slenderverse. Part of me really wants to make a video on the Slenderverse because it's such an interesting time on the internet where these kids are able to take these cameras and make these compelling stories that deal with a lot of serious topics, drug abuse, mentally impaired. It deals with a lot of serious stuff, and the Slenderman or the Operator or whatever is consistent throughout the series. I think Marble Hornets is the father of it all, and it's somewhat connected to the other ones. I don't think they ever wrote Marble Hornets with the idea of connect to any of these other ones, because they started coming out basically once they finished or midway through they finished. But I will eventually do a video on the Slenderverse. I want to do a big long video on it because I think it's super interesting. If you guys want more info on the Slenderverse, go check out Nightmind's channel. He is how I originally watched Marble Hornets. He's also how I originally watched Everyman Hybrid before I obviously watched their actual videos. He does great breakdowns of all their videos. Someone's covering Everyman Hybrid right now. Go check out Nate at Night. Go check out Nightmind. Please, these people are very interesting, and they watch all these videos, and they're committed to their craft, which I respect completely. I think the Slenderverse is really cool. And it's so crazy to think randomly that the Showers author is also a co-creator of a series in the Slenderverse, which is super interesting. Obviously, I don't think it was one of the mainline ones, but I mean, it did have Habit from Everyman Hybrid. So I don't know what the full storyline is for the Slenderverse. Someone else in the comments can probably tell me more about this, or I could probably just ask Sour again, because Sour seems to be obsessed with this. But I do think the Slenderverse as a whole is very interesting. I think that I will eventually do a video about it, and it's so crazy to think that the author... You know, whatever. I said this like multiple times already, but it's just funny that I found this out. I didn't find any short stories from them, unfortunately. It seems like Dylan Sindler wrote the banger that is The Showers, and then popped off and did his own thing. He has an Instagram. He has I think it's it. I think he just has an Instagram now that I'm saying it. He has an Instagram. He has a YouTube channel with the Twigs, a short film on it. Please go check it out. Seems like a pretty chill guy. I perused his Instagram briefly. He seems pretty chill. And hopefully I will be checking out MLAnderson when it comes back. I mean, I think I have to. I do really enjoy Marble Hornets, and you will see some fun stuff when I do get to Marble Hornets when the boys start covering it. I think it's fun at least. Please go check out MLAnderson. Go check out Dylan Sindler. Go check out The Showers. Do I think this is a great episode of Creepcast? Yes. Mr. Wells came from this episode, and another few smaller bits came from this episode, and it's peak. It's a good episode. There's a lot of fun theories you can make about it, of how certain things work in the verse, everything like that. I think it's super interesting, and it's super fun. They have an Amazon book. Please go pick that up. It's always fun to pick up those books. I love physical copies of media, and you know, one day I'll meet the Creepcast guys, and I'll have them sign it. But I hope you guys enjoy. Dylan, if you're out there, please hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about anything, to be honest. I mean, I love the Slenderverse. I also love The Showers. Please, I'll talk to you about anything. I know I shit on part 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry about that. It's just not my cup of tea, but I'm sure it's plenty of other people's cup of tea. Do I hope the boys cover it? Obviously. I hope this has been a positive experience for you. I can't wait to see what you do in the future. I'm always pumped about creatives. I will check out Twigs. I do have your book, but please reach out to me, message me. I was going to message you, but I felt weird about it. I hope you guys enjoy.
Get the transmission working this instant. Oh, you think you get good work, but I guess you get what you pay for.
It's on.
It's on? Okay. Hello, Professor Creepin. It is me, the villainous Dr. Freakshow. You may know me from your college days, where you wronged me many and many a time. But now I am here to take what is rightfully mine. Your life. You know where to find me. I am in your old childhood home. I have your friend here too as well, and he will perish if you don't show up within the next 24 hours.
Don't come creeping. It's a trap.
Shut him up. I will see you soon, Professor Creepin.